Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Nikisha and we are continuing going through the 48 Laws of Power. Listen, we are on law number 18. I am diligently doing this for you and for me because I made a promise to myself, but I brought you along with me. And if you're new here, you might be thinking, how did we get on this journey anyway? Well, when I found out there was a game being played, when I found out that people were trying to actively manipulate me, I was like, no, sir. We are not living like this. We need to figure out what's going on. Thus the book, thus why we are on law number 18, which is do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Let's get into this. The world is dangerous and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress seems safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous and an easy target. Better to circulate among people, find allies, mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the crowd. Let's get into this. It's literally talking about fortresses and war and stuff like that. So if you read the book, we're on page 130, and we're going to take some keys to power that might actually be applicable in our life. So let's go ahead and get into this. So in moments of uncertainty and danger, you need to fight this desire to turn inwards. Instead, make yourself more accessible. Seek out old allies and make new ones. Force yourself into more and different circles. This has been the trick of the powerful people for centuries. And so you know what it made me think of is like if you're stuck in a rut, you really need to reach out to people. A lot of times when we're going through hard times, we tend to isolate ourselves. We tend to try to retreat like this is my problem and I got to deal with it. But the reality is that we live in a society with a lot of other people. And I love Grant Cardone because he's always like, who's got my money? So if you're having money problems, money's not going to just fall into your house. It might. I hope it does. Let me know though. Shout out. Throw it in the comments if it does. But most likely you're going to have to go out there and get that money. And so you don't want to isolate yourself when you're in a rut. When things are going bad, you want to get out there. You want to meet new friends. You want to see if you can take advantage of new opportunities. So if you're feeling in a rut, this is Nikisha letting you know, go out there, call a friend, mix, mingle, and get out there. Let's do another one. Oh, I think this is really good for managers. Let's get into it. This law pertains to kings and queens and to those of the highest power. The moment you lose contact with your people, seeking security in isolation, rebellion is brewing. Never imagine yourself so elevated that you can afford to cut yourself off from even the lowest echelon. By retreating to a fortress, you make yourself an easy target for your plotting subjects, who view your isolation as an insult and a reason for rebellion. The reason why I said this is really good for managers is because if you're managing a team, you need to get out there and see what the team is actually doing. You need to get out there in the field. You have to have a real clear understanding so that when they're bringing their concerns to you, when they're bringing up ideas to you, you have a frame of reference. If you sit up in an ivory tower and just try to shout instructions, it's only a matter of time before your team tries to get together. And, you know, if you got some people who have been watching Nikisha, they could be plotting against you. So in order to avoid that, you need to get out there. You need to, I hate this, but like go out there and kiss hands. No. Yeah, anyways, go out there and shake hands, kiss babies. That way, if you're out there shaking hands and kissing babies, you can really find out what's going on. Say, hey, you know, how's it going? How's your wife? How are your kids? How's that project that you are working on? You can kind of get a feel for what's going on. Because when you start to have like those nice, calm, innocent conversations, people feel open and they start to tell you things. And that's really important as your job as a manager, or really any job, is to understand what's actually going on, because there's what they tell you and then there's what's actually going on. And you want to be in a position to know what's actually going on. So make sure that you're checking in with your team. Make sure you don't just sit in your desk and send out orders, because you never know what those orders are going to get taken back to the team and said as. But when your team sees you out there on the floor, they know that you're in there with them, rather than just saying, keep working, keep working, keep working. Nobody wants to be seen as that, right? Okay, so let's do another one. The more you are in contact with others, the more graceful and at ease you become. Isolation, on the other hand, endangers and awkwardness in your gestures and leads to further isolation as people start avoiding you. Okay, so I think this really highlights one of my biggest takeaways from this, is that the more you isolate yourself, the more you kind of forget how to socialize, because socialization is really a skill. Now, of course, there's introverted people versus extroverted people, where it's like if you're an introvert, maybe it's a lot harder for you to do it, versus if you're an extrovert, you might love to go out there and socialize with people. So there is that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you want to make sure that you're pushing yourself, that socialization and networking and stuff like that, I don't think it comes naturally to everybody. Maybe there are some people. If it does, drop it into the comments. It doesn't come natural for me. Something that I really have to work on, and my battery goes down really, really quickly. But it's just something that I have to practice. But I do notice that when I don't practice it, it is a lot harder. I make up excuses on why I don't want to go. Oh, I'm too busy. I'm too this, because I got out of the habit of doing it. And so don't isolate. Make sure that you're getting out there and that you're, practicing your socialization, especially for people who are homeschooled. My kids are homeschooled, so that's why I wanted to throw that in there. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the reversal of the law, because I thought this was pretty interesting. So the reversal of the law. Without keeping an ear to what's happening in the streets, you will be unable to protect yourself. Now, as a temporary recourse, then, isolation can help you gain perspective. The danger is, however, that this kind of isolation will sire all kinds of strange and perverted ideas. Okay. You may gain perspective on a larger picture, but you lose sense of your own smallness and limitations. Also, the more isolated you are, the harder it is to break out of your isolation when you choose to. And like I just said, that's the reversal, is that if you choose to isolate, and maybe you need to do that because you need to think about something, you need to work a problem out, but still you need to make sure that you get back out there, get back out into the world, socialize with people. You're never going to be able to build an empire by yourself. You're going to have other people. And so you want to make sure that you're getting out there and you're socializing. So let's talk about my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts are, what are we talking about? Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. I think that there is a time to isolate. If you're working on a really big project and you need focus, isolation is really good because you don't need the distractions of the everyday world keeping you from the task at hand. However, you got to know when it's time to take that baby that you've been working out and bring it out to the world and see what everybody else thinks of it. In the book, it was talking about this painter who wanted to paint this really amazing mural, and he spent 11 years, and he had become obsessed with that painting to the point where he went mad and died and never even finished his creation. So although he was isolating so that he could get the painting done, he didn't recognize when it was time to get out, start sharing it with other people, start maybe doing certain different pieces that maybe he wanted to go and share with the public. But don't just keep it all to yourself. So don't just stay isolated forever. Make sure that you're getting out there. Make sure that you're getting back into the real world, so that you can take advantage of everything, all the help that's out here. Yeah, so that you can take advantage of all the help that's out here. Because I do believe that people want to help you. There's people that really want to help you achieve your goals. Now, if you can create win-win situations, I think that'll be easier. But there are people out there that will help you. So reach out if you need help. Don't isolate yourself because it gets hard to get back on the wagon. So tell me what your thoughts are about isolation. Are you a person who isolates? Did this help give you any type of revelation? If so, drop it in the comment. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you share this with somebody else who might be struggling with isolation. I don't know if this video would actually help them, so I don't know if that is the person that you should share it with, but I still feel like you should share it. But just make sure that you're sharing it with someone where you feel like whatever I said would add value to them. Because sometimes I'm not sure if the things that I say would add value, but I think that they're important. So anyways, that's it. Everybody have a great day. Goodbye.